I just wanted to talk about my experiences with the pet grooming industry and the dog sitting industry. And I'll tell you now, my experiences with both have been quite negative. So let me start with the dog sitting. So I've had a few friends sit the dog, and while they're not dog professionals, I thought they did quite an okay job, but I don't want to put that on everyone all the time. The first time I had a young couple wash a dog, they lived just up the road, and they offered to watch Jack just while my wife went and had her diploma ceremony. So it was only about 3 hours or so. Anyhow, they explained to me that they were just putting out the garbage, so they opened the front door, and before they even knew what was happening, Jack had slipped between the legs and run back home. So they said they had a hard time getting him back into the house. And I guess that's probably my fault. I should have explained to keep a really close eye, because he can really dart out the door really quick if you're not paying attention. Another time was I actually hired a dog sitter, and I was paying double the going rate because I just wanted a good one. And I think once I work out what breed he was, I actually didn't get any reply from them. So the day comes up that it was coming to dog sit, and I was sort of asking, what's happening, and then like an hour before they were due to come and dog sit, because they're going to come earlier in the day just to get acquainted with them, and they blew me off with that. And then just before they were due to really come, they said, my boyfriend doesn't want me to go that way because they had issues with it anyway. So this person blew me off so late that I had to pester them for a response. So I had no choice but to take Jack with me to the airport to go see my wife off. So, and because I didn't have the time, I didn't know how airports work with dogs, so I had no choice but to just leave them in the car while I just helped the wife with the luggage and all that. So that was like an hour. So luckily it was winter time, so it was nice and cold. I let the car doors down. So on the odd time that I do leave him in the car, I never lock it. His alarm system enough, I think. Anyhow, the poor guy got so stressed. I come back and there was, a lot of poop in the back seat. So obviously he was stressed by this whole thing. So after that little lesson, I decided I'm not going to bother with dog sitters. Okay, now let me start talking about pet groomers. I find these experiences are even worse. So I don't know how much money these people are making, but it looks like they're making a lot of money for what they charge. On the train tracks at the moment. Just as a side note, it took quite a while for Jack to get familiar with the noisy trains. So now he doesn't bat an eyelid now. But I've contacted and emailed numerous pet groomers. Nearly all of them blew me off. Never rang me back, never bothered to reply, because they're just so busy here, and I I'm assuming they're all used to grooming their little easy poodle money, because they've got to groom them every couple of months, that it's a real cash cow. Yeah, this way, this way, this way. I'm putting your stuff in the bin. Come on, let's go. So I've probably contacted about 4 different dog groomers. None of them actually had the decency to even contact me back. So I actually went to a couple in person, and after about the 3rd time I finally got a hold of one. Oh no, we're booked out till next year. So once they noticed the dog, I could see that they were not interested in grooming him. Basically, I just wanted someone to trim the hair under his feet. That's basically all I wanted. Yeah, so I think they took one look at him and they could probably tell that he wasn't the type of dog I was going to bring to the groomers every 8 weeks for a $200 trim. So I guess they, plus Jack doesn't like to be handled by other people. Like, he'll let me do whatever I want to him, but he doesn't like other people touching him. So he will probably have to be muzzled the first couple of times so he gets used to it. And I guess that was just too hard for a couple of $100 work. So eventually I found one pet groomer who managed to fit me in, just to trim the back of his legs and his feet. So after going backwards and forwards for like a week in chat, I tried to ring her up, wouldn't call, wouldn't answer the phone, wouldn't answer the email, so the only thing that would answer was Facebook chat. So then I organised a time, and about an hour before the time was due, I got blown off. And I think it's because the last time I spoke to them, they asked what breed he was, and I told them, and they said, oh, I never heard of that breed before. So they must have gone and looked it up to see what he was. And then they thought, oh no, that's far too hard. Too much of a challenge, so they just blew me off to get another poodle in, I guess. Luckily Jack doesn't really need his claws trimmed. As you can see here, I haven't trimmed his claws for well over a year, and they don't really need trimming because he runs so much. They're quite down anyway. We're about to go get him some exercise, so he's having a bit of a break in the car because it's very humid here. So I hope this was useful for someone, and just letting you know, if you're going to get this type of dog, don't expect a sympathetic dog grooming or sitting industry experience. So if you want a good experience with those type of people, go get a little Chihuahua or something, or a little Cavoodle. I'm sure they'll be your best friend then, but get one of these dogs, don't expect much support. Ciao.